We are going to be working with the multiplication of units by multiples of 10 to 10,000. So in this example, we've got 8 multiplied by 9, or 9 multiplied by 8, which gives us an answer of 72. If I now want to multiply 9 by 80, which is a multiple of 10, 80 is a multiple of 10, so I can rewrite this 9 times 80 as 9 times 8 times 10. But because we know that with multiplication we can use any sort of order, I can actually say 9 times 8 and then multiply it by 10. So what I've got here is 9 multiplied by 8, which I saw here at the top, is equal to 72. So I've got 72, and I times 72 by 10 to give me an answer of 720, because multiplying by 10 is always very simple. When it's a whole number, you just add a 0 at the end. Now, if we were working with a slightly bigger multiple, such as 800, so we were working with multiples of 100, then all we do is we just add another 0 at the end, because adding another 0 just means that this number is now 10 times bigger than the previous number. So 80 is 10 times smaller than 800, or 800 is 10 times bigger than 80. So that is why I just added that 1 0. So 9 times by 800, all I need to say is 9 times by 8, which we have still 72. We've worked that out. And then we just need to times it by 100. And we then get an answer of 7,200. And again, if we would like to multiply 9 by, let's say, 8,000, which is 10 times greater than 800, then again, it's very simple. All we do is we say 9 multiplied by 8, which gives us an answer of 72. So we don't need to work that one out again. 72 multiplied by 1,000 will give us an answer of 72,000. Now, when we are, let's look at a different example. When we are working with a very simple product of 37 and 1, we know that that gives us an answer of 37. When we are working out 37 times by 10, we just get 370, I beg your pardon. When we are working out 370 times by 1, we also get an answer of 370. If we are working out 370 times by 10, we get an answer of 37 times 1, which is 37. And then we just say we multiply it by 10 and multiply it by 10 again, which means we are essentially multiplying by 100. So we get an answer of 3,700. So if we then decide 3,700 times by 100, again what we can do is just say 37 times by 1 is 37. And then here we need to still multiply by 100 and by 100 again. So we end up adding 4 zeros. We're multiplying by 100 and 100 again. So when we are working with multiples of 10, 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000, or whatever it might be, it's best to first work with the digits in the beginning, whether it's 1, 2, or if it's even 37, it doesn't have to be a single unit. We first work with our numbers and then we work with our zeros. We are now going to have a look at 46 times by 12. So if we work out 46 times by 12, remember to put in our 0 for when we're timesing by our 10. And we say 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 1 is 9. Then we cross that out and we've got 6 and 4, and we put in a placeholder. Right, 2 plus 0 is 2, 9 plus 6 is 15, and 1 plus 4 is 5. So we get an answer of 552. So that is when we are just working with 46 times by 12. If we then decide to work with 46 times by 120, all we do is we work with 46 times by 12, which we know is equal to 552, because that's what we worked out there. And then we just need to times it by 10 because of our 120. Likewise, if we are working with 460 times by 12, we will get the same answer. We will get we will get 46 times 12, which is equal to 552. And because 46 had been times by 10, we need to multiply our answer by 10 as well. When we are then working with, let's say, 46 times 12,000, all we say is 46 times 12, which is 552, and then we multiply it by 1,000, because we know that 12,000 is equal to 12 times 1,000. So we can say 46 times 12 and then multiply it by 1,000, and we get an answer of 552,000. Let's have a look at another example. If we've got 24 times by 3, we can do a quick calculation on the side. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we get an answer of 72. If we then try and work out 24 times 30, there is no point in us doing a whole nother calculation looking something like this, 24 times 30, because it's a lot more working out. Rather, we can just say 24 times 3, and then we just add a 0 at the end. So we end up with 720. And in the same way, if we've got 240 times by 3, or let's say 300, we can say 24 times 3, which is 72, and then we times it by 10 to give us 720, and then we times it by 100 to give us 72,000. If we have a look at another example, we've got 967 times by 84. So if we work out 967 times 84, we've got 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 6 is 24, 25, 26, because we add our 2. 4 times 9 is 36, and then 37, 38. We remember to now put in our 0 because we're now timesing by 80. 8 times, and we cross these little carryover numbers out. 8 times 7 is 56, so we put our 6 down, carry our 5. 8 times 6 is 48, and we plus our 5, so 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. 8 times 9 is 72, 72 plus 5 is 77. And now we add these together, we can put a placeholder in. 8 plus 0 is 8, 6 plus 6 is 12, 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 7 is 11, 1 plus 7 is 8. So we get an answer of 81,228. Now, this is quite a big number, and if we were working with 967 times 840, it would be even more working out if we worked it out like this. It would just be a much bigger calculation. So instead of working it out like that, all we need to do is use our 967 times by 84, which we've got there. And because we then timesing by another 10, we just add a 0 at the end because it is a whole number. And in the same way, if we are working with 967 times 8400, we just say 967 times by 84, which is equal to 81228, and then we times it by 100, which is equal to 8122800.